I am back with another video. This is your Down South Mystic. It is the Southern Baptist Mystic. I've changed my name. I've changed my approach. The Lord and Jesus is my Savior. Christ is found in Him. Christ is found in you. And we're going to spread this fellowship from this church to that church and all of the churches below the Mason-Dixon line. So thank you guys for joining me in this episode of the Southern Baptist Mystic. Just joking. Peace to the family. I'm gonna have some scholarly conversations before I go to the gym. I gotta let my energy drink set in. I got about 30 minutes to kill. So I figured, let me just do a video on the shit that just been on my mind, because the shit that's been on my mind has been completely different for what I've been paying attention to. So the first thing that I want to talk about in reference to spiritual content creators, spiritual people in general, spirituality in reference to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just spirituality in life. It is not a competition. We are all at different points of our growth and development, but those different points do not equate to better. The real shit about spirituality is that if the person that's doing your reading, the person that's doing your life coach, if they're not specifically saying, hey, you are much better than me, I'm just a lowly fucking life coach, I'm just a lowly fucking astrologer, you are the fucking bee's knees, then they're probably lying to you, wasting your money, because a lot of people go into spirituality, spiritual professions, because it's an easy way out. It's an easy way to pay the bills. And if I can market myself in reference to black men or to black women, then essentially I'm in there like swimwear. Ain't nobody gonna know one thing or the next thing. The only problem that I have with it is that it's disingenuous and people aren't actually doing it because spirituality is about growth and development and understanding your truth and your cosmic legacy and your birthright and all of these cool shits about yourself. But you never gonna get there if you competing with her and competing with them and saying, well, hold on, how many crystals did she have on her necklace? She had 10 crystals. I gotta hit them with the 12 crystal piece after this one. Hold on, how many views did they have on their video? Oh, no, I gotta get more videos than that. You know, people would come to me and be like, yo, Hood, why don't you have as many views, or why don't you got so many subscribers as the next person? And then I look to them like, well, where's your views? Where's your subscribers? And they'd be like, well, I don't have any. So what the fuck you talking about? How do you not know that this is good for me? Or how do you not know how much growth that I've done in my business or with my channel or all of these particular things in reference to, if I had 1 million views, but I had 0 sales, then that's crazy. I've done videos where I've done 10 views and I've got 10 sales. So I'm in the business of social media, meaning that when I put out content, it's in reference to my business. It's in reference to who I am. So if it don't get views, I don't really give a fuck. My shit get conversions. You understand? Then conversions is all that I'm into. But for a person who is trying to get all of the views in the world and not make no sales, that's like bass backwards to me. But I digress. Spirituality is not a competition, ladies. It's not. It's not about how many subscribers you got. It's not about how many views you got. It's not about how much money you make. Spirituality is your ability to tune into your past lives. Now, if you have $1 million and you are not connected to source, you are not connected to source. If you have $2 and you connected to source, guess what? You are connected to source. In reference to spirituality, It is your responsibility. It is your job. It is your desire. It is what you crave to connect to source. In reference to life, it is you trying to connect to people. You trying to connect to your baby daddy. You trying to connect to this. You trying to connect to that. Never once do I hear, okay, let us connect to source, because it is nothing but spiritual competition out here in these fucking streets. And trust me, I know. I work with these niggas on the, like, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you one thing. I never had to go to nobody for help. But that don't mean people don't come to me for help. And me, I give the help. Here you go. Whatever, because I love you. I care for you. I want the best for you. This is just who I am. You know what tends to happen after that? Motherfuckers stop talking to me. All of the people that you see me work with in the past don't talk to me. But see, the reality is I've never needed help from nobody. Not to say that I don't need help, but I've never received help from people. You know why I don't receive help from people? Because people are deeply envious and jealous about who I am as an individual. And because I am who I am, they just don't seek to support me. But the reality is, like, shit, we supposed to work together. That's why we came down here, to find each other, to work with each other. And then once we found each other, motherfucker said, oh shit, you got too many views. A motherfucker told me one time, man, you smart as hell. I said, what the fuck do you mean I'm smart? What do that got to do with anything? I'm smart. I am you. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm smart. I'm not even an individual. I don't even exist. The only thing that I've come down here is to connect with like minds so we could build this fucking mothership. And in the realms of us building this mothership, see, I'm not talking to everybody, and not a lot of people listening to this probably like, who the fuck he talking to? I'm talking to exactly who the fuck I'm supposed to talk to, because motherfuckers will watch my videos, family. Like, y'all watch my videos, give me heart emojis, comment, hood, I like this video, whatever. The motherfuckers that I'm talking to watch my videos, don't say shit, might take a note or two, and then I hear their video, same shit I said verbatim. Do you think I'm not in tune? Do you think I'm not? You think I do this shit for fun or for play? It's like when I work with people, bro, shit go crazy out the roof. Like shit be crazy. Anytime I collab with somebody, it's the best thing ever. You know what? What should happen after that? We should do more collabs. We should work together. You know why we don't collab? You know why we don't work together? Jealousy and envy and the inability to communicate. Jealousy and envy. Thus, we have shadow, and because we have shadow, there's negative energy that you have towards me because of who I am. I ain't never came to nobody's house. I ain't never smacked up nobody's baby dad. I ain't never even talked about nobody specifically. I just been me, doing me, taking care of my family, and being a husband to my wife. That's it. But in this spiritual community, when motherfuckers don't give you ashe, when motherfuckers don't give you love, when motherfuckers don't give you your respect, you know why they don't do that? Because they don't fuck with you. Because they're competing with you. People know who I am and how I give it up. I come from the spiritual realm, meaning I don't tune in and tap into other human beings because I'm not a fucking parasite. I don't need anybody at the end of the day. But I take what I am and I give it freely because this is the spiritual development. This is the spiritual truth. I'm here for the people. I've connect and I've built, and my rep, everything that I've got is because I dealt one-on-one with individuals. See, when a person try to, like if a person ever thought, shit, I'm going to take Hood Mystic down, you would have to go to everybody that I've built a relationship with one-on-one through doing readings, consultations, all of that shit just been one-on-one. It wasn't no fanfare. All of those reviews, everything that a motherfucker has said about me is their own personal opinion that they ain't get from nowhere else. It's because of me and my personal interaction. It ain't because of my videos or no shit like that. No, it's because I am a fucking psychic. And since I'm a fucking psychic, a motherfucker is naturally going to compete with me if they're not a fucking psychic. Y'all can think that a motherfucker is psychic all day long. And y'all can pay top dollar for a motherfucker to lie about you all day long because you're fucking psychotic. You're not connected to source. So if you're not connected to source, how the fuck do you know who's connected to source or not? You're not plugged in, tapped in, tuned in to shit. You just like, oh, this motherfucker is sexy. This motherfucker is cute. This motherfucker is speaking the way. This motherfucker got an accent like from my town. I think I'm gonna listen to them. But when it comes to actual clear, cognizant, psychic knowledge in reference to you tuning into your soul, getting off this black shit, getting in tune with your relationships, getting in tune with your magnetism, getting your money together, ain't nobody else doing this shit but me. Motherfuckers is talking to y'all, but they talking to y'all in a space of mumbo jumbo, boogity shit. In reference to whatever the fuck they feel like is an interesting topic. So when I come on the scene, when I say what I say and I do what I do, a motherfucker gonna act like I don't say shit in reference to the fact that you watch my whole video. And then you will look at the views and you look at how people responding. Okay, he ain't really popped off yet. I'm cool. But what y'all don't know is the conversations and the people that I fucking talk to that call me. Right? I've had wild premonitions and wild hunches about motherfuckers in the entertainment industry watching my videos, copying my shit, and utilizing it to mass media. And I had this hunch, I had this premonition, and then a motherfucker called me. Like, it was like a fucking, a worker for the elites called me and said, keep doing what you're doing. People, we watching you. We love what you're doing, hood. We gonna always support you. You good. Don't worry about shit. And see, these are the conversations that I'll have. And I'll tell y'all, around October, November, y'all will see me in some weird places. Like some real weird places. Y'all be like, damn. Hood, I didn't even know you was that plugged in, that connected, that tapped in. I thought you was just, mumbo jumbo and rambling and shit and things of that nature. And I'm like, no, I'm a real psychic. I'm really in these spiritual streets, uncoding and decoding real shit. So because I'm a real psychic, because I know the fuck that I'm in tune, I know the fuck you're not going to get nothing from me unless you pay me. I'm not pressed to show you how psychic I am or show you how fucking spiritual miracle I am. No, kiss my ass. I don't care to prove nothing to you. And because another motherfucker might come on here and try to prove to you that they divine, prove to you that you spiritual, no, kiss my ass. Motherfuckers look at me like, how you just gonna say kiss my ass? You say things that I could never say because y'all not really tuned in and tapped into source. Whether this physical vessel lives or dies, my energy is. I've fucking spoke not to this generation. I've spoke to a future generation. I've spoke to my children when my children could be able to receive this knowledge. They can't receive it now. In reference to what I'm doing, I'm setting the seed. So what y'all see 10 years from now will be like, oh my God, this is so amazing what you created. But I've been doing this shit for years, setting the fucking seeds. Why? Because I'm psychic and I'm in tune and I know who the fuck I am. You know what that does to everybody around me? Creates the energy of jealousy and envy. Because when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to soul development, it sounds better if I tell you, except me realizing it for myself. So a lot of people, you will view them as spiritual, but they don't view themselves as spiritual. They'll never say who they are and how they know who they are, and you can kiss their ass if you think of it any other way. And because they don't have the ability to do that, they can only be jealous and envious of those who do. Because it takes work, energy, and effort to find your soul. Finding your soul is something that you would have to commit to. But a lot of people will not commit to finding their soul because they're committed to survival. And because they're committed to survival, anybody that's committed to their soul, they can't support, they can't uplift, they can only tear down. And I'll tell you about black people. They are really hoping that you fall. You think I'm crazy? Imagine if you said, let's do a money pool. Now think about it, and think about how nobody will actually fuck with you on that money pool. But then if you say, let's do a crate challenge, think about how everybody would be up on that motherfucker watching you because they know you about to fall. Black people love to watch niggas fall. They can't wait until they hear about somebody falling to just say, I told you so. I never did like that nigga Hood Mystic to begin with. He cussed too much. He always loud. He always mean. He always angry. He always triggering me. I never liked that nigga anyways. I knew he was going to fall off. I knew something bad was going to happen to him. Black people been holding that shit over me my whole career. Especially spiritual niggas. Spiritual niggas will take it 10 steps further. They'll hex you. They'll do a root. They'll do a spell, not because you're a bad person, because they're jealous of you, because they're envious of you, because they're fucking psychotic. What I mean by psychotic is they're disconnected from their psyche. They're disconnected from their soul. And because they're disconnected, they want you to be disconnected, because what happens when you're disconnected is you fall. So niggas will sit back and wait for you to fall because you know why they want me to fall? They'll never say it, because I'm a black man. Don't nobody want nothing good to happen to black men in general, right? So in reference to me saying I'm a psychic, for me saying that I'm tuned in and tapped into the spirit, they be like, how the fuck can you do that when you a black man? You the lowest of the totem pole. You not rich. You not sexy. You not light-skinned hood. See, we only know how to support light-skinned creators and light-skinned spiritual people. Y'all don't really want to talk about it because it's a lot of dark-skinned people that didn't get no views until they got fucking lights and cameras. And then what they did was lighten their pigmentation. So now all of a sudden they light skinned, and now motherfuckers is like, oh my God, I love all of the spiritual shit you doing. When all of the spiritual shit they did was change their skin complexion. Y'all don't know this, but I know this. I'm not speaking no lies. I'm speaking all facts. So essentially, what we have is colorism, competition, posed as spirituality, Hotep, Ashe. But if we don't deal with the biological chemistry of meeting people and dealing with people, then essentially we're not getting to a point of real healing. We're actually deepening the void because we're telling people, hey, all you need to do is XYZ. But what about my feelings of guilt, shame, embarrassment, envy, all of these negative feelings that I hold within myself that well, sharing something that people want. You're not sharing a marketing plan. You're not sharing Spirit is spontaneous. Spirit is the ruler of the universe. And to tune in and tap into spirit, you have to follow that. If you have a plan, when we plan, God laughs. So essentially, you got to have a mindset when you go into spiritual consultations. Your mindset has to be a reduced ego. I've done readings. I done got good at readings. I done had low spots. I done had up spots. I done had down spots. I've come to the conclusion, my mindset when I'm doing readings is whoever I'm talking to, they are on a pedestal. They are on the highest pedestal that my ego cannot fucking take. So in order for me to be the best reader that I can, I have to exercise my ego. Or else I'm not giving the person who I'm doing the consultation for the truth. I'm giving them my ego's slant. When you do a reading, you reduce your ego and let the person that you're doing the reading for, their higher self, should use you as a vessel or a channel to talk to who you're talking to. Now, if you are doing the reading like I'm the queen shit, I'm the king shit, I'm the most spiritual person, I talk to spirits, I'm a medium, I'm this, I'm that. And you may be, but you are going to tank the reading by your fear, because this is what the ego is bringing into it. Now, you may not know how the reading is going to go. You might not know what that person needs to hear. The reality is you have to reduce your ego completely. Be a vessel, be a channel. And this is like, I promise you, if you having low sales, if you having trouble in your business, if you having trouble, if you fucking shine shoes, understand that you shining shoes for a very important person, and it's very important that you put high energy into shining those fucking shoes. Whatever you do, you are serving someone else, and whoever you are serving is at a higher level than you. The lowest level that you can be as a human is the highest level that you can be spiritually. The highest level that you can be as a human is the lowest level that you can be spiritually. And Spirit has said that spiritual people have they have long forgot about the source, and they have gone strictly for the money. Every time you talk to a spiritual person, they don't have no downloads for you. They don't have no knowledge for you, but they do have some shit that you can buy. Because they're not devoted to you and your development and healing your psychosis, because they're suffering from the same psychosis. The only difference is they're in denial. And denial will create a whole bunch of external expositions to avoid the fact that you internally are fucked up. So if I can get more sales, if I can get more business, if I can do this, if I can do that, then I feel better about my life. But how do you essentially feel better about your life if you're a spiritual healer? You have to heal your fucking self. Listen to that. Write that down. Tell that to your audience. Essentially, I think it's extremely key that ascended masters, spiritual healers, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, you either gonna work with me and we gonna enterprise, or you gonna block me and you gonna hate me, because I ain't gonna do nothing but torment your ass, because I'm gonna only speak the truth. And it's very important that we develop souls and entities within themselves, instead of putting ourselves on pedestals and not giving the people who are tuned in and tapped into the content the actual keys that they are gods. You should not put me on a pedestal. At no level should you imagine that me, as an astrologer, healer, psychic, is better than you. I'm here to bring out the best in you. I can't bring out the best in me and bring out the best in you at the same time. I have to make a decision. What do I want to do? Is this my career? Is this my life? Is this my 10th house? Or it is not? For me, it is everything that I stand for. And because it's everything that I stand for, it's very important that the people that I talk to, I empower. But I can't specifically empower them if I'm trying to empower myself low-key at the same time. We're talking about doing real transformative miracle work. And the work that I'm doing is very from the bottom, started from the bottom. Much of taking nothing and making it something. Now, because of that, I know you have the ability to do that. But you just don't have nobody empowering you. You just have a whole bunch of people empowering themselves and using you as a host because their nature and energy is parasitic. People like, damn, you really talking about me and I don't like it. So let's look at it scholarly. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about psychosis, pathological tendencies that come from sexual trauma. Anytime a person engages in casual sex, online dating, hookup culture, they're experiencing sexual trauma. There is not a good thing that comes out of having sex with a stranger or somebody that you don't do investigation with. And now, because that's normal to be a sexual deviant, to be a sexual pathological energy, to be a sexual psychosis sufferer, you cannot say that to yourself and go to work and be cool with that shit. So essentially, you have to live in the space of delusion. And because you have delusions, now you're like, I need a sex toy. I need a dildo. I need a friend. And not men will then say, I need to do all of this other shit. And in our society and in our culture, y'all, everybody is being raised up to be a sexual deviant. To the point that it's normal for homosexual activities to take place. And I'm not saying homosexual activities is bad or good. I'm just saying that shit is normal in a space where it wasn't normal. Why is it normal? Because people are not told one way or another. And I say heterosexual casual sex is traumatic. That don't mean homosexual casual sex is not traumatic. It's the same trauma, if you want to be technical about it. In reference to the type of man that you're not in a relationship with, or the type of woman you're not in a relationship with, but you know that this is the type of person that you can only be happy with, and it's a sexual grandiose idea. And so when you get a normal guy, he don't fit the right criteria of your sexual grandiose ideas and ideologies, so now he's a problem, when the fact is you're a problem, but you can't deal with the denial of your delusion of psychosis, because in any relationship, it is not what a man does for you. It can never, that don't exist. That's a lie that people perpetuate on the internet. In a relationship, it boils down to how much you love yourself, how much you respect yourself, how much you value yourself. Because if you respected yourself, loved yourself, valued yourself, then your husband, wife, partner is going to be happy that they have a partner that loves, values, and treats themselves at a high level. So essentially, what does a person have to do in a relationship? Pick and point what their man is doing without addressing their delusion and psychosis and pathological tendencies in reference to the sexual trauma that they've had day in and day out based on online dating. But since that is not something that you can handle, you have to deny it. I'm going to get scholarly on y'all, because y'all argue with me, and I'm going to stop. In reference to what's happening in our culture, where you can get love advice from a person who is still suffering from psychosis, that is a shared psychotic disorder, or a folie à deux. This is an unusual mental disorder characterized by sharing a delusion among two or more people who are in a close relationship. There is an inducer who has a psychotic disorder. So I have a psychotic disorder and I'm a leader, and I'm going to tell you, you know what? The reason why you need to do more manipulative tactics to get your man to act a certain type of way. See, the problem is you not being manipulative enough, sis. You ain't manipulating that nigga hard enough, so you got to raise up the manipulation to get that man to do the shit that you want to do. No, you're psychotic, and you are an inducer of psychotic tendencies, because here it is. I'm saying if you're in a relationship with a man, then it got to be some good to him, or else you wouldn't be in a relationship with him. But instead of pouring positive energy into that relationship, you want to figure out why he is not doing the thing that you want him to do without you addressing your sexual trauma. A lot of people think sexual trauma comes from molestation and rape, and no doubt it does. But the more prevalent sexual trauma is one-night stands, hookups, casual sex, or being in relationships, sexual relationships with people that don't pan out. So your boyfriend and girlfriend gave you more sexual trauma than the rapist because you actually allowed this sexual trauma to take place day in and day out in the name of love. But you had nobody telling you, wait a second. He using you for sex. She using you for sex. Do you not see that? That person don't care about your personality, your interests, your career path, where you going in life. They are just waiting for the lights to get turned off so they can use you. That's parasitic. That's toxic. That's not going to lead you nowhere to a place where you're happy. But in reference to what I just said, the scenario that I just laid out, motherfuckers ain't going to tell you that that's a bad situation either. Motherfuckers going to look at you like you perfectly fine being in a relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend that if you having sex, there is no way that there's a long-term relationship that's going to play out. It may turn into a long-term relationship, but I'm speaking from a man's perspective. Once I got the guts about you, I'm not really thinking about the future. I'm going to just play it until I get tired of smashing, and then I'm going to move on to the next chick. I might enjoy it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, but essentially I'm waiting for you to trip or act out so I can use it as an excuse to bang out and never talk to your ass again because I done got all of the sex about you. You not going to help me. You not going to do shit for me. You just going to be a sexual object that I can utilize when I get horny. I appreciate you for that, but ain't no real value to this relationship. And if you can't address that, then you have experienced a sexual traumatic experience long term. And then you want to go into another relationship, hopefully that this shit will change. Have you changed? Have you got any psychological training, any psychological healing? Have you talked to somebody about your sexual trauma that you did not know was sexual trauma? And once you realize it was sexual trauma, you continue to live in denial. See, denial is pervasive. Denial is ubiquitous. Every woman that you talk to, fellas, will deal with some level of denial. What am I talking about? If she's not brutally honest about her past and her actions and what she's about, then she's in some form of denial. She's not lying to you, but she feels that if I am brutally honest, this person is going to run far, far away from me. And I say to say that, why are you doing shit that you cannot talk about? If you are doing it, develop a conversation for it, because 10 times out of 10, that's your tribe. But if you do not have a conversation about the shit that you're doing in the under, then you showing up with your titties out, looking all good, you doing magic. You doing glamour magic and you manipulating shit. Because you know how men are. If you want a long-term relationship, or you want to see if this is as a possibility to be a long-term relationship, you have to get honest. You have to start communicating about real shit, not the shit that you think that a person want to hear or need to hear. Last slide. So I got to get to the jizzle. Several studies have highlighted that unmet needs in an intimate and sexual relationship among people diagnosed with schizophrenic or related psychotic disorders such as psychosis, sexual psychosis. Psychosis is simply not tuning into your soul or realizing that you have a soul. So when you talk about psychosis, that's 99.9% of the people out here in the world. They don't give a fuck about their soul. They give a fuck about their money, their body, their sexual life, everything external. So when you talk about a psychotic disorder, that's every fucking body. Okay? Period. People don't know about their soul. People don't understand psychology in the point where it is the study of the soul. And the soul continuously evolves. So nobody actually knows it. One has to be adept in the study of the soul. Okay? So let's continue. If someone has difficulty forming intimate relationships, or expressing sexuality, some basic psychological needs may remain unfulfilled, and in times of stress, there may be no significant other to turn to for support. This poses an environmental risk. Fuck what they talking about on the internet. Fuck how you feel, but in reference to psychological studies, single relationship status has been associated with low quality of life and correlates with a poorer prognosis with people with psychosis. So you're by yourself, you're suffering from psychosis, and you're making money in your online dating profiles. You are toxic. You are a time bomb. You need to get in tune with your soul. You need to do chakra work. You need to do shadow work, because you might get a good man one day. And if you get a good man, how are you going to treat that good man? You're going to treat him like shit because you're psychotic, you're pathological, and you don't even like men, because men represent a form of trauma. This man came and fucked you like that. He fucked you so good, and then you text him, hey, how you doing? And that nigga did not text you back. That's fucking traumatic. That hurts. And if you say, you know what, I ain't gonna deal with that, I'm gonna just find me a new man. You need help. You need assistance in connecting yourself to your soul so you can have a successful relationship. Because without